welcome to week 4, which is an ice cream sundae cupcake kit. My favorite thing to eat when I was a kid was an ice cream sundae, so we made that into a cupcake. Don't forget to tag and share all of your pictures and videos so we can watch you guys make these beautiful creations. Let's make it. Let's go through all of our ingredients we're gonna need to make these ice cream sundaes. So we have a couple different size bags for piping and whatnot. Heavy cream, some vegetable oil. We have cupcake liners to bake them in. Our decorating knife. Our cake batter mix. Some beautiful sprinkles and sparkles to decorate them with. We have a couple toothpicks because we're going to make some fondant cherries so we can use that to decorate them. Some eggs. We have some vanilla buttercream to top it off with. Some delicious chocolate chips. Another piping bag. And your recipe. We need to preheat our ovens. This does require parental supervision. Kids, get your moms and dads to help you out with the oven. If you have a convection oven like we do, you're going to turn it on and set it to 275. If you have a convention oven, which most households do, you're going to put it at 325. First, for our sundae cupcakes, we're going to start by making our cupcake batter, which is the same thing as cake batter. Fun fact. We're going to put our cake mix into our bowl. We're going to put our 3 eggs right in there. Rack them good. Wash the hands. Eggs are in, hands are washed, spoon is ready. We're going to mix our eggs into our cake batter until it's smooth. So if you're getting your kit shipped to you, oil is not one of the ingredients that is going to be in your kit. Just because in transit it might get all over the place and make it everything oily, it'll be gross. So in our recipe card, we do have the exact measurements of what you will need, so don't worry. Now we're going to add in our vegetable oil. I'm going to add half of it first, and then I'm going to add our half a cup of water, which you can just get this from the sink. So I'm going to measure out my half a cup of water first. And then we're going to add half of that into the oil. And then I'm going to mix this first, and then I'm going to put the rest in once this is mixed in. So this could get pretty messy pretty quickly. You don't want oil and water flying everywhere. Messy kitchen. Velvety, silky smooth cupcake batter, which that is. Now we're going to add our Funfetti Quins. Because what is fun and fetty? Funfetti Quins! They're my favorite. Love them. I'm going to fold Funfetti Quins into the batter. Just enough so they're all mixed in there. Alright, and now we are ready to scoop our cupcakes. So I have my cupcake liners on my pan, and the really cool thing about these liners is that when you bake in them, they keep their shape. So you don't have to use a muffin pan to hold it up. It just stays all by itself. Now I'm going to use our handy dandy scoop that we got in our welcome pack, and we're going to fill our cupcake liners a third of the way up. Let's see how many scoops that gives us. Like 2 scoops. Yeah. 2 scoops of butter. There we go. If we have a little left over, then we'll just add a little bit more. Who knows? They're your cupcakes. Fill them up as much as you want. But if you do, they may flow over. So, you know. There you go. Fun fact, Funfetti cake is probably one of the most popular flavors that we sell at Two Fat Cookies. I love Funfetti. Well, I love sprinkles, so anything with sprinkles in it makes me happy. Scrape out a little bit for the last guy. Scrape that off. Put that. We're not going to use that because that's gross. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna get. But they look great, they're all pretty even, and they're ready to bake. So our cupcake batter is scooped, and we're ready to put it into the oven. So if you have multiple racks in your oven, just make sure you have enough space so your cupcakes can grow. You don't want them growing into the rack above it, and then, you know, they'll rip and stuff. So we're gonna put these in, and we're gonna start them off with 12 minutes. So our cupcakes are in the oven. While they're baking, we're gonna make the chocolate sauce, which is actually called chocolate ganache. Fancy. So we're gonna get a microwave safe container, and you're just gonna put all the heavy cream in there and dump it in. Ew. And then we're gonna take all the chocolate chips and we're just gonna dump them in there. And then we're gonna head to the microwave and melt it. At the microwave, and we're gonna put this in for about 30 seconds to start, and then we're gonna stir it around and see what the consistency is like. So I've just taken my chocolate ganache out of the microwave. I actually put it in for another 30 seconds. It wasn't melty all the way. So I'm just gonna use a spoon and gently stir it around until all the chocolate and the heavy cream combine. As you can see, it's starting to get more and more like chocolate milk. I'm just gonna keep stirring it. She put it on the table. And it sounds like our cupcakes might be done, guys. I have to go check those in a couple seconds. Alright. And that is gonna be our filling for our ice cream sundae cupcakes. Time to check our cupcakes. They're looking good. Not quite there yet. We do need to rotate them. 180 degrees. They bake evenly. I'm going to put them back in like 7 minutes. Tell that your cake is done, there's a couple different ways. You can push on it and it'll bounce back towards you, which these are almost there. Those seem pretty good. Or you can take a toothpick or one of these little baking needles and stick it into the inside of your cupcake in the middle, and if it comes out clean, that means they're done. So all of my cupcakes, they feel nice, they're bouncing back, and the toothpick is coming out clean, so we're gonna take them out. Our cupcakes are out of the oven now, and they look gorgeous. They're a little golden brown, they're puffing back. We're gonna put them on our cooling rack. Always make sure to turn your oven off whenever you're baking. We're done. So while our ganache and cupcakes are cooling, we're going to be making our fondant cherries to go on top. Take out our fondant. So we have 12 cupcakes. We're making 12 cherries out of this. So we're just going to knead our fondant just a little bit because it's a little crusty. So you're just going to take it and you're just going to fold it over itself with your fingers. You're going to take it and fold it over yourself. If it's too hard with your fingers, you can use your hand. Just going to take it and roll it over itself until you don't see any more of like the crustiness. Alright, so now we're going to roll this back up into a ball. And we're going to roll it into a log. And the reason why we're going to do that is because it's going to give us an even amount of cherries, and they're all going to be about the same size. I'm going to cut 12 pieces out of one log, so they're all about the same and they look even. Okay. That looks pretty good. So let's try and mark this. We're going to go in half. And we're going to go here, and I think we have to do 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes! Okay. So you're going to do it in half, and then you're going to mark that piece in half, and then you're going to do 2 marks in the middle of that. So we're going to have our half piece, and then we're going to mark that in half, and then within these 2 logs you're going to mark 2 pieces. Well, these are going to be a little bigger. There we go. That's going to give us our 12 cherries. So I'm going to take my butter knife, and I'm going to start cutting my cherries off. I'm going to make them as even as you can. It's okay if they're not all the same size. Alright, so I'm going to set all my pieces aside. I'm going to just start with one. I'm going to roll it into a ball in my palm. Okay, and then I'm going to take it. I'm just going to puncture it just a little bit with my pinky finger. And I'm going to take my toothpick, and we're just going to indent it and give it a little cherry. So there we go. That's going to be our cherry. Our cupcakes have cooled and they're ready to be poured. This is going to require the use of a knife. If you are more on the younger side, you should probably have some parental supervision just in case nobody wants to get hurt while doing this. So you're just going to take your plastic knife or your butter knife, whichever one, and you're going to do like a sawing motion, and you're just going to cut out the middle of the cupcake. So I'm just keeping my knife straight up and down, and then cutting out the inside of the cupcake. So let's do it one more time. So we're going to have our knife, it's going to go straight up and down. I'm moving the cupcake with my left hand. If that's too hard, that's okay. You can just keep it straight and kind of move your knife in a circle. And then we're just going to take out the centers. And the centers are for snapping. I'm just going to continue to pour all of my cupcakes. It's a tiny bag. Almost done. Just taking my knife and lifting out the inside of the cupcake, and then it just lifts out the little piece that we just poured out. Lifting it, and it pops out. Last one. And we are ready to fill with our chocolate ganache. So we need to fill our piping bag with our ganache. So I'm going to take my piping bag. And an easy way to do this is to kind of open it up and grab a small cup, and you're going to roll down the sides of your piping bag, and then you're going to insert that into your cup. And then the sides of the piping bag are going to be down the sides of the cup. And you're just going to open it up a little bit, and that's where your filling is going to go. We're going to take our chocolate ganache, and we're going to pour all the ganache in there. every last little bit of that. Beautiful. Alright. Now that we have our piping bag filled, we're going to just lift the edges of the piping bag up. And we have a filled piping bag. We're going to come back to our cupcakes. Kind of put them in a little bit of an order. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of twist my piping bag, and that's going to help the ganache to not flow out of the other side of the piping bag. You're going to go ahead and you're going to cut your hole. You don't need a big hole because the ganache is a loose filling and it's definitely just going to come out of it. If you pipe too big of a hole, it's going to be really hard to control where the filling is going to go. So that's about how big my filling is going to be. See, look at that. It's already trying to come out. Look at that little guy. So you're just going to carefully, with 2 hands, pour in your chocolate ganache. So your left hand is just going to kind of lift up the piping bag so none of it drips out. And your right hand is just going to slightly press the filling into the cupcake. Just going to fill all of our cupcakes. Cupcakes are filled, so we're going to set them in the fridge just for a couple minutes so the ganache can set up and we can pipe our icing on top. I set aside the rest of my ganache that was left over from my piping bag because we're going to use that later to pipe on top of the cupcakes. Right now we're going to kind of just mix up our vanilla buttercream. Sometimes it likes to separate a little bit when it's left out for a short period of time. So we're just going to take our buttercream and put it in our mixing bowl and just kind of mix it around, make sure it's nice and fluffy and it's easy to pipe. Now just take our spoon, and you're just going to kind of mix it around. Looks great. Alright, that's awesome. So kind of the same concept that we did with the smaller bag, we're going to do with our larger bag. I have a larger cup and a large piping bag. So we're just going to open it up with your hands and you're going to take the edges, pull them down. You're going to insert the piping bag into the cup and put the edges over the sides of the cup. And then that is where your buttercream filling is going to go. So I'm going to take my filling and just kind of insert it into the piping bag. I'm just going to kind of use my hand a little bit so I can kind of scrape off the inside of the spoon. I just kind of put my hand underneath so I can get all that good buttercream out of the spoon. I'm going to lift our piping bag out. Squeeze it down. Have our filled piping bag. Went and grabbed our chilled cupcakes out of the fridge. I'm gonna put this on this cupcake platter. Like, can we just talk about how amazing that we have a cupcake platter and we're making Sunday cupcakes? Come on, it's meant to be. So we're gonna platter up our cupcakes, like nice and pretty. Kind of random. All on there. of the other layers of the frosting. You just want to be careful not to push down really hard, because then you're not going to get that beautiful height that we're looking for. You're just going right up. 3 little swirls. Like that. All of our cupcakes. So I am holding the bag as I have my right hand. My thumb is kind of closing the top of it so none of the buttercream leaks out, and then I have my left hand and I'm kind of holding the piping bag end away from me so it doesn't hit me in the face. And just really steady. 3 swirls. We're going to take our chocolate ganache now, and we're just going to drizzle the top of it right down the top. All that out of there. Now we can get in there. We're going to take our sprinkles and we're going to just sprinkle all over the top of those cupcakes. You can't have an ice cream sundae without sprinkles. It's just, you just can't. And last but not least, we'll take our beautiful little fondant cherries. We're going to place them right on top. Look at those cupcakes. They are just the most beautiful ice cream sundae cupcakes I've ever seen in my entire life. Especially with these homemade cherries. And everything is edible and beautiful. This has just been the cherry on top of my day, making these beautiful ice cream sundae cupcakes. And now I get to eat one. My favorite part is that. Alright, I'm gonna take my cherry off. But